Ray Parks, and today we have in our studio Crystal Estep and Dr. Dar, and we're going to talk about the medical center. Welcome. It's good to have you all on board today.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
And we have a lot to talk about, I'll bet.
Yes.
There's never enough time for us to get through everything.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, what is it we'd like to talk about first?
Well, a little bit, I think I would like to talk about a little bit about communication with the patients
okay.
and the physicians or the medical center. The main thing I need to emphasize is the medications. Whenever patients come to the medical center, I will strongly advise that please bring all your medicines, bottles with you.
So you actually want us to bring the bottles?
Yes.
Instead of just a list?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you know, we have a senior population here. They are very smart, but sometimes they forget to take. And it helps us to count the number of tablets to find out if the patient is really taking medications as we advised.
So you actually count, or you get an estimate out of it.
Well, yes, we sometimes do that.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time what happens that, you know, confusion arises. We change the medications, but the medication change is not properly communicated with the patient. You know, I have been reminded continuously, the Bernard Shaw told us that the biggest mistake is to feel that your message is relayed already. So we find it's correct. Most of the time we change the medications, but when the patient comes back next time, it's very hard for them to remember the medications.
Sure.
And it's very hard for us to find out if they are really taking those medicines properly or no. And so it will help both the physician and the patient to communicate on the medications. So please bring your medication bottles with you, all the bottles you have.
Yeah, you actually have a list of all the medications, at least what we've told you that we use.
We do have list of our your medications. And whenever you come to see us, the first thing we do is update the medication list.
Okay.
And in order to update the medication list, sometimes not only we rely on the patient, that is the first source. In addition to that, sometimes if we have any concern, we call the pharmacy.
I guess this, maybe I've heard before that we should bring the bottles, but I'm not so sure that I've really heard before that that we have to bring, or we should bring, the actual bottles that contain the and the amount of leave the pills in the bottles. You don't empty them out, right? Yeah,
sometimes we need to, but it's not something like a law that you have to bring it. But
and you don't have a ruler to snap.
No. It's over safety. We care about the patient safety. Yeah. So if they bring in, I think it will be a win-win situation for us.
I think it's a good idea, because I understand what you're saying about looking at the now our pills. We get a renewal of the medication, and of course we have a few pills left in the bottle when we get the renewal, or else we'd run out.
Yes.
And so I may have more pills than you might think, because I had a few pills left over from the last time I refilled. Huh?
That's correct. That's correct. And that's why we need to find out what's happening. Sometimes the patients are getting medication from multiple doctors.
Okay.
And multiple sources.
I was surprised at the pharmacy. I used Belvoir, and I'd gotten a refill from pharmacy A&D. And I got a new prescription, so I said, well, I have this other prescription I have to pick up at Belvoir's, so I'll try to renew my new one there, or I'll try to get the new one there.
Yes.
They had the information.
Yes.
On the A&D prescription. It says you don't need it.
You don't need it. You don't need it. Absolutely. And you know what? One more thing. Sometimes when the doctor writes a prescription for 30 days, some patients don't like it. I understand why don't they like it. They don't want to go, and you know, it's a stress for them to go. So they like to have 90-day supply of medication. We have no objection of writing always 90 days of medications. But this is here when the conflict arises. We call the medicines for 90-day supply to the mail order pharmacy or Fort Belvoir, and then you run out of medication suddenly and you ask us to write a 90-day for neighborhood pharmacy. If we write a 90-day supply of neighborhood pharmacy, then you will get a supply from the express script. It will be a confusion again. So it's better for you that if we write 10-day supply from neighbor care, if you are getting medication from the mail order pharmacy, to accept it. It's for your safety.
Sure. Okay, so we talked about communication with members of the family, and I assume that applies over to Garden Ridge and.
Yes.
Yeah.
Garden Ridge, we have. If you are in the skilled care or a long-term care facility or assisted living facility, at least we have more control, because the nurses are involved in prescribing medications, and we have we have more understanding that where is the patient getting the medication and how is he getting, who is supplying it.
Now up in memory care, we might have some problems. Do you contact the child of the people in the memory care, or do you do it for everybody, all of those over there?
What we are trying to do is we have decided with each other that we will try our best to communicate with the family, whether it be in the form of a telephone call, or we will try to give summary of our visit, which we are trying to arrange that the floor manager communicates with the power of attorney and gives that summary to them, so that they know what happened.
If you're in Garden Ridge, whether it's memory care or skilled nursing care or assisted living, you're going to contact the family if you have a change in medication or if you have a major problem. Is that?
Skilled care, if the patient does not have a power of attorney and it is alert oriented, we don't need to communicate with the. But in case if somebody has like memory care issues, then we try to communicate with the power of attorney and make them aware that we were here, what was the purpose of our visit, and if there was any change noted in the patient, and did we made any change in the medication and management process. So
it's very important to call the family of those people. Okay, but you don't do that for those of us in independent living. Or I guess if we had
if somebody comes in with the aid and we understand that the patient is not able to understand the medication issues or any of own health issues, I call the closest family member. So we do that. But again, it will be helpful if the family member is with the patient. If they are not able to come with the patient, at least the aide or whoever is accompanying remind the physician that the family is anxiously awaiting for your call to update them.
Now, I believe you have some educational forums coming up, don't you?
She will be more than appropriate.
So there's a couple.
We're going to give Crystal a chance to talk.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. We'll let Dr. Dar do it. He's becoming a professional at it. So.
Good.
So one of the things that we're have a goal for the medical center is education forums, and we would like to do them quarterly. Not just education forums on what the residents would like to hear about, but also about the medical center. There's so much that goes on at the medical center that people don't understand. For instance, the Care Path program. And the Care Path program is here not only to assist the resident, but help us out as well to get to know the resident.
Didn't you do a special in the theater a few months ago on the Care Path, how we got into it?
No, that was the patient portal.
Well, that's a different thing?
That was the patient portal, yes. Patient portal is to see your outside records. What the Care Path program is say you have a doctor on the outside, but you get really sick and can't get off campus. Well, you could see us in the medical center for that acute visit. All you need to do is fill out the new patient packet form, see us one time a year just to update your medical records, your any previous surgeries, your medication, so that we're there, like if you have a fall in the hallway, you can come see us. The only thing that the Care Path program does not do is refill of medications, any routine lab work, anything routine that you could get from your outside provider, we do not do. Although with the Care Path program, like I said, we're there for acutes. If security ever has to take you out of the facility, they have your updated medical records because they use our system to pull them from. Okay. So it's a really good program. Your insurance covers the first visit. It's non-hands-on. They just sit down and discuss things with you about your health, medications you're on, and then you're able to use the medical center not just for acutes but for outside labs.
Yeah, so it's very important then, if we don't use you as our medical center, if we use another doctor, the doctor that we used when we came in, it's very important that we talk to the medical center and get onto the Care Path program.
Exactly.
Because you're the ones that are immediately available. If I have a problem and I call my doctor outside, it may be 3, 4, 5, 10 days before I can get an appointment, huh?
Exactly. And then when
but you're going to be there today.
Exactly. And we have acute spots for reasons like that, you know. And when you pull your pull cord in your apartment, okay, and security comes up, they call us, let us know what's going on, and if it's an acute visit and you're with the medical center, they're going to bring you down right away and we're going to see you. Yeah. You know, so it is very important to be on that Care Path program.
Okay. All right. Now, talking about outside doctors, outside labs, do we have a problem with that? So
what is going on with outside labs right now is LabCorp, we figured out how to put in the system, say you had a cardiologist, you came to our medical center to get your lab drawn from your cardiologist. We were putting it in our LabCorp system, which is the system we use to run your labs. Mm-hmm. We put the cardiologist's name in there as the ordering provider so that your lab would go directly to the cardiologist and it would bypass us. We wouldn't see it. It would go directly to the cardiologist. Yeah. There's been a lot of complaints lately from residents that when they go to their outside care provider that they don't have the results of those labs. That is being worked on as we speak. Tracy from LabCorp, we have met with her, and she's not sure what end it's coming from to where it's not faxing to your primary care provider. So I would suggest that you call a day ahead of time your appointment and see if it's there. If not, we will pull them and fax them ourselves. Okay. But it is a big problem and we are working on it.
But that's a big help too if we call you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I jump in for a minute?
Sure.
That communicating with the physician is very important, but we need to use the proper pathway, proper tool. If you try to call them on the cell phone or try to email them, there is a significant possibility that the message will not be reached to the physician. So the best way to communicate with the physician is call the medical center and tell the front desk that they need to communicate with the physician. If he is not available, they will send a message to the physician on ECW, the EMR. We use it all the time, and we are sitting in front of that most of the time. So we will not miss it, and we will be able to return a call. And this way, it is almost guaranteed that the message will be conveyed to the physician and he will respond. But if a patient try to use some other way, there is a risk that the message is not conveyed and they are not aware of what's happening.
Yeah, and I would assume that the doctor, when he or she has a patient there, they're not going to answer their phone. I've had doctors on occasion answer a phone while the patient's, I've been in there, but it's not very likely to happen.
Yeah, because sometimes we would love to talk to you immediately, but sometimes we are sitting in front of the patient who is more sick than you because he is there. So you can wait on telephone. So it's better to leave a message. And one more thing, that all of these problems can be easily sorted out. We love you.
Well, thank you.
I'd
rather have Crystal tell me that.
And we think of
you. I love you, Mr. Parks.
And we think of you as a family.
Yes.
So we would like all of you, 100% of the residents here, to come to see us, and we will be more than happy to see you and take care of you. And then you don't have a problem that outside doctor is not sending you the lab. We will get the lab and everything. And the last thing is, even if you don't come with, we support our family and we are willing to do whatever we can in the form of a care path.
Well, thank you all very much for coming on board today. I think we've learned something, I hope we have, and if you're paying attention, you know about your medical bottle or medication bottles and so forth. So thank you all very much for coming on board.
Thank you for having me.